Hi everyone and welcome to the new video. Today I'm going to test an interesting board, a Meshtastic ThinkNode M1 made by the Elecrao company, and it is interesting for several reasons. First, Meshtastic is an off-grid communication network based on mesh technology, and it is interesting to see how it works. Second, this board is using the NRF chip, which has a lower power consumption compared to ESP32 boards like Heltec. Third, this board has an ink display, which is also good for the long battery life. It doesn't consume energy when it is not refreshing, and it is also good visible on the sunlight. So it will be fun to test it. Let's see how it works. Before we begin, a small disclaimer. I asked Elecrao to send me this board for the test and they kindly agreed. But this is a full independent review and they don't have any editorial input for that. If you want to buy Elecrao products for Meshtastic, there is a link in the video description. And now let's get started. Okay, let's start with the unboxing. As we can see, the gadget is made in the form of the walkie-talkie radio. This looks cool, I think, but we should be aware that we are not able to talk through it. It has no audio capabilities. On the other side, Meshtastic has a lot of cool features and we will see it in this video. The package itself is pretty small. And on the box we can see the main features like low power consumption or GPS and so on. Now let's see what is inside. As we can see, the packaging is minimalistic, but it is good enough. We have this mounting clip, we have a manual, we have a charging cable. There is no power supply as usual nowadays because it is a standard USB-C. And finally we have a ThinkNode device. As we can see, the device already has a firmware inside and we can see the firmware version and the device ID. Before turning it on, I need to connect the antenna, otherwise I can damage the transmitter. I will do it now. And now when the antenna is connected, I can turn on the knob at the top to turn on the device. As we can see, there is unset message on the screen. We need to configure the device first. All configuration can be done via the Meshtastic app. I will be using the Android version for that. And now I am running the Meshtastic app on the phone. I press the scan button and I can see a new device. The communication is made via the Bluetooth Low Energy protocol. First I need to enter the pairing code. And as we can see, the device is connected, but I see nothing on the screen. I need to change the settings. I am opening the settings page. Sorry for the focus, it was focusing on the device itself. And here in the app I only need to set the region. I live in the Netherlands, so I am setting the European region. In different regions, for example in the US or in Europe, there are different radio frequencies. So if you set the wrong region, you will see no messages. I'm pressing save and the device is rebooting. And as the next step, I will update the firmware because I see there is a newer one. As we can see, the process is fully automated, so it is easy to do. We also see a recommendation not to close the app and to keep the device nearby because the data is uploading. The process takes several minutes, but I will skip it to make the video shorter. Bluetooth Low Energy is a slow protocol, so the upload speed is not so fast. As we can see, the Meshtastic firmware is in the beta state. And interestingly, after the update, the device didn't reconnect automatically. So I need to turn the power off and on. I work as an IoT engineer and I know that the power reconnect almost always helps. And indeed, the board has been restarted and everything is good. Okay, now the board is configured and we can see how it works. As we can see, the Meshtastic transceiver is pretty compact and it can easily fit in the pocket or in the bag. Obviously, the most interesting part of the design is the e-ink screen. And it looks cool, I like it. First, it's always on, so we can easily see the board status. As a comparison, on a regular ESP32 board, the screen turns off after 1 minute of inactivity or something like this, and you need to press a button to see the information. With the ink you can always see what's going on, and this is nice. Second, the ink should provide a better power consumption, and I will test it later in this video. Third, the contrast of the ink is good and it also looks good in the sunlight. Still, it is not perfect and there are some disadvantages as well. First, the refresh time is slow and sometimes the screen is blinking. And second, when I press the buttons, there is a significant delay I can see. I actually don't know if the delay is caused by the screen itself or just the NRF processor is not so fast. As an example, on the ESP32 board, when I press the button, the screen updates immediately. But here I see a delay like of about 1 second. Also, if you use any on-screen menus, you must be used to that, so there is a short delay between every action. As for the controls in general, there are not so many of them. There is a knob at the top that can be used to turn the transceiver on and off, and it can be also used to adjust the brightness. Two buttons at the right can be used to switch between screens, and the long press of the button shows the context menu. For example, on the clock screen you can adjust the time zone, or you can replay the message with a short predefined text. Technically, the transceiver can be used fully autonomously, but much more functionality is available in the app. Let's now see how the app works, and let's send and receive some messages. And as an example, here I have two boards. One is an ESP32 based Heltec board, and the second is a hero of our story, ThinkNode M1 board. As mentioned before, Meshtastic is a license-free, mesh-based off-grid communication network. So these devices can talk with each other autonomously, there is no need for internet or mobile network. We can send messages between devices, but the boards can also retransmit messages of other participants, so it increases the range. In theory, you can watch the messages or even make a short response from the device itself, but it's much more convenient to do with the phone app. Practically, this Meshtastic app works as a Bluetooth keyboard. It does not need any mobile internet. This app works as a standard messenger like WhatsApp or Telegram. You can also configure the board, or you can switch between several boards, like in my case, which is good for testing. Now I will show how to send a private and encrypted message to another board. My app is connected to the Heltec board at the left. And here I see the list of other nodes visible in the network. And I am selecting the board and pressing the button Direct Message. It is simple. And I can just type the message as in any other app. I am pressing Send button and watch carefully. It works. We get a message on the second board. So with this app and with the Meshtastic board on your backpack, you can send and receive messages from other teams of your group, even if you are in the middle of nowhere without internet or mobile network. Obviously these boards are nearby, but the radio module is pretty powerful. I will do a range test a bit later in this video. The app itself is powerful. You can send private messages, you can send messages to the general channel and so on. For example, I can send a message to the general channel and every board will receive it. And interestingly, because it is Android app, you can have a full power of Android notifications. For example, if you have a smartwatch and you received the message, you will get the message on your Android watch. So it is pretty cool, you even don't need to take your phone. And I can repeat again that all this works without internet. And now I will show how to make a real range test. It is easy, but you need to enable it first. It is disabled by default. Obviously you need two boards for the test. And first you go to the range test config and enable it. For the receiver board you don't set a sender message interval, so the board will only receive. And then you must go to your channel settings and increase the accuracy, because by default for privacy reason it's about 2 miles, so you will not practically see anything. And then I connect to the second board. I also enable the range test and I set the sender interval to 1 minute. And that is it. Now every minute the first board will receive the messages. Optionally, I can go to the board settings and disable the notification beep, otherwise it will be too annoying. And now I will keep one board at home. I will take the M1 node with me and I'm ready for the walk. On the Meshtastic website you can see crazy top distance like about 200 kilometers. Of course, this record was made in the mountains maybe and with a high gain antennas. In the city the distance is much shorter, you don't need to walk so far. So when the test is complete, I go to the board settings and I select export range test packets or export all packets as you like. And when you export the file, you can go to Google My Maps, you can create a new map. Then you can import the file. And here I'm selecting the CC file that was created. And because my board is the receiver, I'm selecting the receiver latitude, and it will be marked as latitude. And I'm creating longitude as a longitude. As a title, I will select a distance. And here I see my results. I live in Amsterdam and I was walking in this area. And as we can see, the distance is pretty good. The maximum distance is about 960 meters, which is not bad. So about 1 kilometer distance in the city, it's a good result. It may be even better in the field, in the open area, and even better in the mountains. So I think it's pretty good. And now I will show the battery life of this board, and I will explain my final thoughts about it. Let's see the battery. Okay, now let's test the battery life. Technically it is easy and we don't need any hardware. The board is sending the telemetry data automatically. And funny enough, you can see the telemetry data not only for your board, but for other boards as well. So I just need to select the board in the list and go to the device metrics. And here I can see the graph. I fully charged the board and it was running. And as we can see, the last message in the log where the battery level is 0% shows uptime of 1 day and 16 hours. Honestly, it is less than I expected because I know that NRF processor is more energy efficient and also this board has an e-ink display. But apparently the manufacturer tried to make the node as small as possible and the battery life is acceptable. It's like more than 1 day. If you're going to the hike for more than a day, you will definitely need to recharge your phone and other devices like cameras. So it was probably a marketing decision to make the board small. And many phone manufacturers do this nowadays as well. So in my personal opinion, the battery life is not impressive, but it is okay and it is acceptable. So as a short summary, I can tell that I like this board, it works well. The screen is good visible in the sunlight, it is portable, it's easy to put it in the bag. Of course it would be better to have a longer battery life, but practically I am not going to several days hikes. M1 also has a standard antenna connector, so it is good for antenna testing. So this board is nice for outdoors tests. So I like this board and thanks Elecrau company for sending it to me for a test. And if you decide to buy one, the link to the original website is in the video description. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. In the next video I will try more advanced Meshtastic features like integration with the Python SDK. Press like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Also hit the notification bell not to miss it. I also did a video about Meshtastic features like private channels or external sensors. The link is on the screen. Thanks for watching and see you next time.